Hello, welcome to the Mirror Moves. Let's begin this video with a question. Have you ever had a moment where your past just shows up at your door, unannounced, and tries to take everything you've worked hard for? Yeah, mine knocked loud and clear. They didn't come with flowers or apologies. Instead, they arrived expecting to walk right in, claiming what they thought was still theirs. It happened so suddenly that it knocked the ground out from under me. I hadn't seen my parents in over 10 years. Not due to a falling out or anger. Life simply pulled us apart. I moved away. I built a new life, crafted my own path. But that day, everything changed. They didn't come to reconnect, to see how I was doing, or to share old memories. No, they came with a different purpose, one that made my stomach tighten and my heart race. They believed I was squatting in what used to be their house. They thought I had stolen something from them, that they still owned that property. Their eyes were fixed with intensity, as if they could somehow reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs, by force if necessary. That's when the doorbell rang, loud and persistent. I hesitated, peering through the peephole. My stomach dropped when I saw who it was. My parents, older now, but still just as intense. Their faces showed signs of age, but their eyes were as sharp as ever. They didn't bother with small talk. No, hello. No, we missed you. Just a blunt demand. Let us in. This is our house. I stared in disbelief, frozen in place. My mind raced for a reply, but all that came out was a nervous laugh. No, it's mine, I said, voice trembling slightly. You need to leave. I should have known better. That was a mistake, because within minutes, everything erupted into chaos. I watched as they turned away from the door and, in apparent frustration, started calling others. I saw them standing on the street, talking on their phones, waving their arms, loudly protesting. I could hear snippets of what they were saying, lies mixed with anger. Guess who they called? The neighbors. The ones who live nearby, who might have heard the shouting or seen the scene unfold. No doubt they wanted backup or someone to evidence their claims. Before I knew it, sirens blared in the distance, then slowly crept closer. 2 police cars arrived, lights flashing, but sirens off to avoid alarming everyone even more. Neighbors peeked outside from behind curtains and windows, whispering with curiosity or concern. An officer approached, calmly asking, "Sir, are you currently living here?" I showed every proof I had, my driver's license, the deed to the house, mortgage statements, all in my name, clear as day. I watched anxiously, knowing what would come next. Behind the officer, I could hear my parents ranting and raving, making untrue claims. He broke in, they yelled, voice cracking with anger. He stole it from us. They insisted I was a trespasser, a squatter who had no right to be there. They argued loudly that I had somehow taken their property, when in reality, the house had been bought years after I left home. It was my house, paid for with my own hard-earned money, not theirs. Their accusations were wild, unfounded, and desperate. The officer listened carefully, then took a long pause. He looked directly at my parents, then back at me. With calm clarity, he said, "Ma'am, sir, none of your names appear on any paperwork related to this address." The words hit hard. For the first time in a long while, their fantasy shattered. They stood there, stunned, unable to argue. They were used to wielding control, to throwing accusations just to get what they wanted. But now their grip was gone. The officers stepped in, warning them strongly to leave the property immediately. They were told not to return, effective right then. My mother's tears started falling, and she looked distraught. My father yelled something about disrespect, blaming me for standing my ground. But they had nothing left to cling to. No legal claim, no grounds, no authority. Slowly, they turned away, shuffling down the street and disappearing from view as suddenly as they had appeared. I stayed at the door afterward, my hands trembling, trying to catch my breath. The incident wasn't just about the house. It stirred up something deeper, the old power dynamic rearing its head again. It reminded me how my parents always expected me to obey, to submit, to accept what they dictated. But not this time. I had fought back. I had refused to let them overrun my boundaries. I had finally stood my ground and said, no. That moment marked a shift, a turning point I never thought I'd reach with them. I didn't let them walk over me. I didn't allow their shadows to drown out my peace. Never had I imagined I'd have to defend my space so fiercely. Setting boundaries this firm wasn't easy. It's one of the hardest lessons because it's painful to confront family, people you've known since childhood. But sometimes, it's the only way to protect yourself. This wasn't just about a house. It was about reclaiming your right to be your own person, to decide what belongs to you, and to stand tall even when others try to push you down. Have you ever had to draw a line so forcefully that it changed everything? Have you faced that dark moment when family expectations clash with your independence? Share your story below. If you've gone through something similar, or if this wild story resonates, consider subscribing. There are more stories to explore, truths about family, boundaries, and finding your own strength in a world that often tries to take it away.